It's 4 o'clock on Sunday, May 14th, 2023, Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day. Anyway, it's been storming today. Lots of rain, lots of thunder. The storm's traveling from the southeast towards the northwest, which is kind of weird. But that's what they're doing. The grass is all laying down because of the wind. It wasn't like this when I left it yesterday evening. But there's plenty of it. And my pants are soaking wet from the knee down. The boots are keeping my feet dry. But not much else. Somebody asked why the cows came when I call them. Well, cows are pretty smart. They're like dogs. Maybe dogs are a little smarter than cows, but you know, just like any animal, you can train them. In this case, I trained them that when I open up the fence and call them to move to the next pasture, because that's where all the food is. Because they're used to going from a dirty pasture to a clean pasture. A pasture that doesn't have any food to one that does. So they know to follow that voice. And I make sure to only call them when I'm moving them to better pasture. I also use it occasionally to pin them up. Get them into the pen. So, yep, you can see the dark clouds. There's a storm. It's going to start raining any moment. But if you look this way, it looks nice and beautiful. I love how the Texas weather is so unpredictable. Greg Judy's has been doing a series of videos where he talks about the drought that he's experiencing. Question that somebody asked him, it said, what happens if it does rain? And in Greg Judy's case, he's like, good. See, he keeps plenty of ground cover on his fields. He doesn't chew them down to the ground. So even in a drought, his pastures look better than mine. Oh, hey there, Hindungi. How are you, bud? So even in a drought, his pastures look better than mine. The problem is if you don't have that ground cover, if your grass is chewed down to the ground, or worse, you plowed your field and then it rains a bunch, it's just going to wash your field away into the neighbor's pasture and into the stream. So he told the story in his last video where he was in the cafe and some farmer says it rained so much he didn't get any. Meaning that the rain washed away his field, and so there was no goodness for the rain. It just made things worse. So you want to be in that situation. One of the tools in the toolbox is to stop grazing. Pin them up in a sacrifice pasture and feed them, hay them, whatever, and wait until the grass regrows. I didn't use that technique. I should have. I tried to just move them more slowly. I think I would be in a better spot if I kept them off the grass until spring. If I pinned them up, sacrificed a part of my pasture, and then moved them. So the other thing is droughts are always retroactive. That means you don't know you're in a drought until you've been through it. So you can't tell if, like, this could be the last rainstorm for 6 months. I don't know, right? The drought could start tomorrow, right? How would I know? I wouldn't know until July or August that we might be in a drought condition. Even then, the weather report's going to say it's going to rain tomorrow. And so I'll say, yeah, everything's fine. It's going to rain tomorrow, everybody. Don't worry about it. And the rain doesn't hit us. Hits all of our neighbors, misses our pasture, and we're still in a drought, right? And the drought doesn't end until you actually get that rain. And that rain is starting to be absorbed in the ground and the grass can eat it again. So you don't know until you're in a drought, until you know it's already happened, right? So Keep an eye on the grass. If you don't have grass, you can't graze. You're just going to destroy your pasture. Move them more quickly. Move them, keep them in a pen, do something, but don't let them eat the grass to the ground. So I started making these videos back in August, at the worst part of the drought last year. And it started to rain. I think we got 5 inches a couple weeks after that. And you can see what happens to my pasture using my techniques as the ground started to recover. And I think if going back in time, I would have said, hey, just pit them up. You know, wish I would have done that. Next time, if I run out of grass, that's what I'll do. I'll choose maybe the poorest part of my pasture, where I get the least growth. Put my cows in there and just feed them until the rest of the pasture is recovered, and then rotate them again. Maybe that's what I'll do. Or I'll just sell the herd. You know, sell cows from the herd. Reduce the stocking density. You know, one thing that is cool is in 2021, we had a drought in the summer, and we did not really see the effects of that drought. The grass still grew. We still had plenty of grass. It was the 2021 to 2022 winter that did the most damage, because we didn't get rain in the winter. And no rain in the winter, I mean, when spring came, the grass had nothing to drink. And we had a late spring and an early summer. So it took forever for it to warm up, for the grass to grow. And once it did warm up, the grass couldn't grow because there was no water. And then summer came early, and so the grass died. And then we were in summer. And this time, we didn't have any water in the soil. It was all dried up. It wasn't regenerated from the previous drought. So 2 years back-to-back droughts. It's really bad. But this is what my pasture looks like now. So at least in my part of the country, droughts are temporary. You know, they come, it seems like every 10 years or so. We seem to follow a pattern of increasing rainfall every year. So one year it'll rain so much, the next year it'll rain some more, next year it'll rain some more, until it gets like record rainfall, and the next year's a drought. So, yeah. Anyway, I probably should stop filming before it starts raining. That's a nice storm cloud down there. All right, guys, have a great day. Bye-bye.